So, hey, what's up guys, it's GXL here today, and we're actually going to be talking about Naoya Zenin. Yes, Naoya Zenin, the guy that is a bastard, the womanizer, the evil misogynist. We're going to basically explain why he is stronger than you guys actually think. I mean, if you've seen the last chapter, you can kind of tell this guy is pretty strong, but there's actually more reasons and there's more to it into why he's actually as strong as he is. In other words, even before he became this ugly ass cursed room or whatever that is, there was glimpses and things that suggested that he's a very strong opponent, but I'm gonna explain it to you guys for you guys to understand. Anyway, if you guys could help hit around 60 likes, that would be much appreciated. I know you guys can do it, I believe in you. Anyway guys, let's get into the video and see why Naoya Zenin is really stronger than you think. So to begin, the first time we see Naoya Zenin, he was actually encountering Yuji and Choso. He wanted to find Megumi originally, but he kind of just saw Choso and Yuji there, so he was like, you know, I might as well take Yuji out. We're meant to kill him anyway. And then after, we saw a glimpse of his speed. Speed is probably the main factor and main thing as to why Naoya Zenin is so strong. You know, you probably think, okay, his speed was dealt with Maki already, but I'm gonna go and break down why his speed is still one of the best in the show. In fact, excluding Satoru Gojo, he might actually be the fastest sorcerer, or known as the fastest sorcerer at this moment. Now, as you can see, Choso and Yuji were confused. This guy just appeared in front of them, and then he disappeared. So it really does show how fast Naoya Zenin really is. But how does it work? The way it works is the fact that he's using projection sorcery, meaning that he's allowed to move 24 frames per second. So pretty much 24 frames in a second, just kind of like how animation is done. So that made 24 different drawings. Now, he cannot break the rule. He cannot break this rule of moving 24 frames per second. So let's say you are going to do a long jump, and you are going to make sure that, okay, I'm going to make sure I jump and end up as far as I can. Naoya Zenin can determine I'm going to end up here after I jump. So automatically, his Jujutsu sorcery would allow him to appear there before the actual motion of jumping actually begins, because he already predetermined where he wants to be and go. Meaning that, let's say for example, someone shoots at him, or someone's about to do something, he's not allowed to react or go back or try and maneuver, because that'll be breaking the laws of his physics. The only thing he can do is go and finish and land where he decided already that he's going to land. Do you kind of get it? I hope that makes a bit more sense when it comes to projection sorcery. And let's see how it works when he does it against Choso. So when he fought Choso, he was able to touch him and pretty much make him freeze. Now, the reason you see them on like a little card and they actually freeze is pretty much because they're not following the 24 frames per second rule. Meaning that, you know how I said you have to jump? They try to maneuver even though they're jumping, so it punished them by freezing them straight. Do you get what I mean now? And now that allows Naoya Zenin to have a second to do any attack that he wants to his desire. But they don't realize that they were frozen, so that makes them even look extra fast. That makes Naoya Zenin look extra fast in that case. As you can see, when he did it to Maki, Maki was not put into a picture format because she was following the 24 frames per second rule. So that's why she was able to turn around and then after be able to hit Naoya Zenin as a prediction. The other reason why his attack or his technique is so good is because he can make the decision before even allowing himself to fully commit. AKA, he actually is able to move and counter when someone does something. So just before he actually does the attack that he wants to do, he stops the projection sorcery, so then he's able to counter their counter in that regard. Which is why against Choso, he was able to stab him and he said, I always go on the assumption that you're going to counter. And obviously he lost to Choso, but some people may argue that if he was fighting serious, he would have been able to beat Choso for sure. Like how he was fighting Maki in the beginning, yeah, if you fought like that and wasn't allowing him and gave him some time, it seemed like Naoya Zenin could have pulled off with the win. But you know, that's for another story, and I think that's another argument for another day. Now against Maki, Maki had this new transformation, this new being, the new sense of self and worth, but even amongst all of that, Naoya Zenin was able to manipulate the situation. He was fighting against her, but as soon as he touches her, she always breaks the law of physics. Always breaking the rule of the 24 frames per second. But that was because they were unaware. That's why he was very like adamant on pressuring and applying the pressure and making sure she couldn't react or even get to understand and think about what to do next. This was a serious Naoya Zenin. Even at this stage, you can see Maki's on the floor just chilling, lying there, and you see her disappear in the next panel because Naoya Zenin already just chucked her away. It's like he's glitching through the matrix. He's just glitching through the screen and able to punch her, throw her around, do everything that he wants to do, and just repeat that you are not told you, you are not told you, you are not told you. It's like a little kid that say you're not my dad. But all in all, you can see that he is going crazy, making Maki even a bit pressured. And not only that, when he does projection sorcery, just remember guys, the more he does it, the more he's able to use his move, the faster he becomes. So he just keeps getting faster and faster and faster. And it really shows, if you don't have the eye or the capability to know what on earth a 24 frame per second move is, or what 24 frames per second is, you will never beat him. You will never truly understand what he's doing or why he's moving so fast, which will make him such a formidable opponent. But anyway, it was against Maki and he got squashed because she found out in the end. She was able to see the movement. That's tough. But anyway, then he comes back as this ugly thing. That's what we're going to call it this episode, or this chapter, or this video. We're going to call it the Thing. Now, let's not get it twisted. This thing is a cursed room. And even being a cursed room, we can see that Naoya Zenin was very, very strong. Not in the sense of he had a lot of power per se, but his speed was very evident. I don't even believe he was even using projection sorcery at this point, but you could definitely see a difference in his speed. So, lo and behold, he fights against Maki, but then after his room started losing, etc, etc, even though he was moving at subsonic speed. Now, when he hatches out of his shell, meaning when the cursed room hatched, this is what made the formidable opponent of Naoya Zenin. There's nothing you can do that can touch him at this point. At this point, he was never a human. He was born to be accursed. Because even the way he looks and the way he behaves, you can see is cursed. And he actually sends Naruto Shikamo further than you would ever imagine. And not only did he do that, he actually made sure that when he did, he called him trash as well. Typical Naoya Zenin style. And moving on, the reason that his speed has become even more ridiculous, he can rotate his bodies in ways you cannot do as a human. And not only that, he can now avoid better decisions, get in the air, do whatever he wants with his weird body, kind of like a bulldozer. And now, facing the person he fought before, who knows the technique from the jump, he was still able to put them in a concussion or in a bad state. And the reason why, he was able to go Mach free speed. Mach free speed. I don't know if you guys know what Mach free speed is, but if you look on the screen, you can tell it is very, very fast. And that basically goes over the speed of sound, meaning that Naoya Zenin is in a position that his top speed, no one is going to be reacting to that. I mean, maybe Gojo and Sukuna, but no one that's just a participant in the Culling games is going to be able to react to that. But anyway guys, yeah, that is pretty much what I mean by Naoya Zenin is really, really strong. He's actually stronger than you think, and he's faster than you think. And I'm explaining why he's actually fast as he is. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on the video. It'd be much appreciated. You guys already know this. I'm always happy and grateful to you. We're trying to hit 20k before the end of the year. I still want to do that. Make sure you also subscribe if you're new, turn on the post notifications, and as I said to the new and old people that come and visit my channel, Jana.